Hi everybody, this is Dino from Prehistoric Facts. This is going to be a special episode. I'm going to actually try to do as many of these as I can till I get to number 100, and I actually have said in the Facebook post, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris page, is that the 100 episode would actually be top secret, but I will actually give certain clues as it gets closer and closer. So probably about special episode number 97, you'll actually get to see certain clues. And I would say this: you'll be on location. So this would actually be a very cool special episode. And I can't give you the details of what species I'm actually going to talk about, but I actually am going to tell you it will be a redux. So it would actually be an animal I've already talked about before, and so it would actually be something that'll be pretty cool for everybody to actually get to see. And so far, it's actually going to be a really cool episode, and that would actually be really awesome if that would actually blow up like crazy on for like all dinosaur fandoms and all that sorts of stuff. But anyway, let's actually get down to the special episode right here, and we're actually going to talk about Arsinoitherium. And so Arsinoitherium is actually a species of animals that is actually like a amphibious type of mammal that actually lived in the Eocene about around 30 to 36 million years ago, in the Eocene and the Oligocene. And so it lived in northern Africa. Fossils have been found in northern Africa. And now there is actually one species of Arsinoitherium, Arsinoitherium giganteum, which actually lived in Ethiopia around 27 million years ago, but that's still in the Oligocene, so we won't actually get into detail about that type of species, but we'll actually talk about mostly of like that type of group of animals of pretty much Arsinoitherium. Arsinoitherium would actually be closely related to the elephant, the pachyderms. And so and you see, at that time, these were actually animals that were not considered to be called pachyderms. These would actually have been animals that actually would have looked like something like pachyderms, but even though it would actually look pretty strange today and all that sort of stuff. But there's close relatives of Arsinoitherium, but I'm not going to get into detail about that. And and you see the distinguishing features of Arsinoitherium is that it's a sort of a medium to large size mammal that actually was about pretty close to 6 feet tall, and also would have actually have been a length of nearly 10 feet long. And so this animal would have actually have weighed pretty heavily. So this would actually be probably like a 1-ton animal. And so this is an animal that would actually be very heavy, and also would actually be very slow and lumbering. And that's what this kind of animal would have been. And then, like I mentioned, it's an amphibious type of animal, so it would actually be living on land and in water. So this is an amphibious mammal. And when I say amphibious, that doesn't mean that it has very thin skin and it always needs to keep that skin wet, like most amphibians. That's not what that is about. See, this animal would actually have the skin necessary to actually be on land a very good period of time. It's just that, kind of like hippos. Hippos, they have very thick skin. It's just that they actually prefer to be in water more than on land. But even though they will go on land when it's like, say, dusk and dawn, and even at night, it's in that way that can actually graze on land. And so that would actually make a lot of sense. But even though this animal would probably be more on land than in water most of the time, but could actually feed underwater as well. And of course, it could swim, and so that would actually be the case. But another distinguishing feature of Arsinoitherium, it's actually got these big, broad horns on its snout. And you see, they actually have, I guess they actually have found comparisons of like males and females of sexual dimorphism with these animals, is that the horns actually differ. Is that like the males' horns are actually a little bit more splayed out, a little bit more, whereas the females are a tad bit more vertical. So that could actually make some sense, is that like the females probably didn't need splayed out type of horns to actually compete against each other for mates or for food or anything like that, or territory. But males would have actually been very solitary, so these animals would have actually been kind of actually living like elephants. Is that they actually would have males would actually live on their own, and whereas like the females and like the calves and juveniles would actually be with a herd. Now I would actually say that these would actually be considered either by like a pod or otherwise a herd. So, but even though whatever it could be, considering that these are amphibious mammals, and so, and of course it's a herbivore, and that's what most elephants are. They're herbivores, and that's what they probably eaten like a soft plant material, and so their teeth were probably not really designed to actually crush branches at all. But even though their nose would have actually been very similar to an elephant's, they might have actually had like a kind of like a very small type of trunk, not a very elongated trunk like most elephants. They would have probably just had like a very small looking trunk, and so that would actually be the case for this animal. And when you actually look at the skeleton, you think like, oh, this must be an ancient type of rhino. It's not. It's actually a closely related relative to the elephant. It's closely related to the elephant. And it's because scientists have found muscle attachments right towards to the nose of the animal, where a trunk could actually have been, and also they see how it might have been amphibious, kind of like hippos. But even though elephants can actually go in the water very easily without any hesitation whatsoever, and they can swim very decently, and so they're very large animals, so they're actually gonna have a little bit more of a slow-moving type of swim instead of actually like fast swimming like you would see like dogs or cats or anything like that, actually when you see them swimming. And so yeah, and Arsinoitherium is like I said, it's a herbivore, and it probably would have eaten like a soft plant material, so probably like soft grasses, probably some softer leaves, and probably would have actually eaten some like seaweed as well. So it wouldn't be surprising that it would actually eat seagrass. So that would actually be pretty cool to actually see an Arsinoitherium actually going down underwater, holding its breath, and actually feeding on seagrass. So that would be pretty cool. And of course, the extinction of Arsinoitherium is that it couldn't adapt to changes in the environment. Pretty much its landscape started to dry out. The sea levels were actually retreating, and so that would actually give the case is that with that type of change in environment, that means the environment was starting to get really dry, and also that means its source of plant source of food would have actually disappeared as well. And so that would actually be the case of that Arsinoitherium would have actually have died of pretty much just like it couldn't adapt to that kind of change. Alright, that's it for now. Now this Friday will actually be an Answer Questions episode, so make sure you get your questions sent in by emailing me at dinocris71@gmail.com, or just go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts of Dino Chris. Like the page, you can actually post your questions in the comment section on any Facebook post, or even on the wall of the Facebook page. But remember, keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSJRALL. That's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there. Also, take care of people around you, and also for younger people, let them make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you can have for good education. It's very important to have good education. So with a good education, you get a good job in the future. And just like I said, I'm actually going to try to do as many special episodes as I can to get to 100, because the plan is to actually get this 100th episode around the first days of June. And so that would actually be probably say between June 1st to like June 4th. So those would actually be the types, they'll be probably like that range of where I can actually do the 100th episode. And of course, like I said, it's going to be on location. And of course, send me as many prehistoric animals you want me to talk about. I would actually like to do is pretty much just like to 1 to 2 prehistoric animals for each special episode. So special episodes would actually be pretty much going on throughout most of May, so it'll probably be possibly being 2 a week. So that would actually give a little bit more time for me to actually get those special episodes done, and I can actually get those done as quickly as possible. Now, when I get to 99, that means when I get to 99, that means I'm going to have to start planning for the 100th episode. So that would actually be the case, and it won't be scripted. So it would actually be, like, as you can tell, I don't script these episodes, so I actually do this right off the top of my head, and so that's actually what I actually give to you guys as well. Anyway, that's it for now, and I'll see you guys this Friday.